What is up, everybody? This is Lyle, No Hippie Trucking and Transportation, coming at you from a brand new Sheetz, right across from Flying J, I-71, exit 69, Jeffersonville, Ohio. Listen, the parking spots here are so big, it almost makes you look like a rookie. You know, when you're backing up, kind of, you're like, okay, you know, you kind of look at your left side, you're like, okay, there's enough room over there, you know, what you think most truck stops will be. Then when you come on top of your truck, you look to your right and you got a whole bunch of space over there. So then you got to get in between the lines. I'm telling you, you got to stop at these Sheetz. Went in there and got me a little Mexican taco salad. Be getting up on that here in a little bit. And by the way, I'm repping Tim Travels. Go check out his YouTube channel. So anyway, what I want to talk about today is a common way that people violate their logs. And this is very simple. A lot of times it's just forgetfulness or, you know, whatever. But we'll get to that in a second. So, last load I had came out of Green Bay. I was talking about that earlier. I had the one drop off in Mechanicsville, which was a nice, easy drop. You know, had I dropped there, plentiful washouts, all that. Had that been my 90, plenty of parking. But no, they had to add that stop in Carteret, New Jersey. That receiver was the tightest receiver, and I don't mean as far as backing. It was the tightest receiver I've ever been to. I was up there with another Prime driver. It was a girl, she was training somebody, and we were just looking at each other in amazement how packed this place got. Now, this place, there was no parking on the shoulder, so trucks were just pulling into this place, and this place might have been 3 truck lengths long when you pull in. The docks would have been facing the opposite direction, maybe 2.5 truck lengths deep, complicated by some of that 3 truck lengths that you had once you pulled in. Some of that was taken up by cars. She got really lucky. I got partially lucky. When she got there, she was just able to back into a door. When I got there, there was already a truck that was pulled in front of me. I go inside to check in. They gave me a door, which, if you read the reviews, is typically a door for box trucks, but I think they just gave me that to get me out of the way. As I was pulling in, a couple box trucks were like honking at me like I was doing something wrong. I was like, hey, I'm getting in here, you know, because they came in after me. But by the time, well, okay, so there's another truck in front of me, so he got door 4, I got door 2, which kind of cleared things out for a second. But within 5 minutes, by the time I left, there was literally like 3 or 4 box trucks in there, and a couple of them pulled into docks where box trucks were before, so they were kind of double tandem. And then there was like 3 or 4 long trucks, so everything was a process. So when one truck would try to get out, everybody had to move and do all that, and then once they got out, then they repositioned. And, you know, like when I left, I mean, it wasn't like me just getting my bills and saying you could go. I had to wait for this whole process where everybody kind of jockeyed themselves into position to let me out. I mean, it was ridiculous. Elite Cold Storage in Carteret, New Jersey. Nice enough people. I did a review on them, a Google review. I gave them 2 stars, and that had nothing to do with the people. It was just all the congestion and everything up in there. The people were awesome. Had this been like a normal cold storage, I would have probably given them 4 or 5 stars, to be honest with you. All right, so anyway, I left there. I'm sitting in a dock. I send a message to my fleet manager, and I say, hey, I need a pre-plan. I need somewhere to go. If you're familiar with Carteret, New Jersey, it's right there, right before you get into like New York City. Right across the way is like Long Island and all that. So I needed somewhere to go, and I said, if I don't have a pre-plan, Plus, I needed a washout because I was leaking. You know, I had a meat load at 28 degrees and it, you know, was leaking from the beginning. It had stopped leaking, but it still needed a washout. So I said, listen, if I don't have a pre-plan, by the time I'm ready to go, I'm headed south on 95. So I get going down the road. About 30 minutes later, I get a pre-plan picking up in Violin, New Jersey. So I'm trying to, I'd already made up my mind I was going to get a washout in, damn, I forget the New Jersey TA out there on 95. But anyway, it doesn't matter. I go to the TA and a truck broke down in the wash bay. So that washout took forever. Now, I probably sat in line for 2 hours for washout, and I was like 4 back. By the time I left, you would have thought the people were going to Disneyland. That line was so long. And then they told me they were charging that guy $7 a minute for every minute he was broke down there, and he'd already been broke down for 2 hours. You do the math on that. So anyway, now I know if I get a load in that area, there's a nice truck stop, Garden Truck Stop, right out there in Vineland. And by the way, they had some of the best paprika chicken and rice that I've had. But they also have a washout there, which I didn't know about until I was parked there and looked at my app. Oh, this washout is in network. Had I just done that, I would have saved some time. But it really didn't matter because the load wasn't ready. I needed to wait about an hour for the load. So I'm kind of rambling on that. Let's get to the topic in hand. Here in a second, I'm dropping off this dropping hook tonight, or not tonight, excuse me. The window is from midnight to 7 in the morning. To me, unless I have a pre-plan, I'm gonna have hours coming back at like 11 o'clock tonight. It makes no sense for me to drop a load in the middle of the night unless I have a pre-plan where I don't know if I'm gonna need a washout because I'm dropping this trailer, picking up one from there. So I don't know what the situation is. I'm gonna wait till morning to drop this off. Just for, you know, from a load planning perspective. Anyway, enough about that. How do people violate their logs? And I know I'm 7 minutes into this. Okay, so I'm in a group text with some people, and one of the people spoke about how they violated their logs. Now I've seen this come up a few times. A couple of people asking me. Then I talked to my logs advisor. She says it happens a lot of times too, and a lot of it is forgetfulness. So if you're going to do a split log, so you're going to do an 8-2 split, a 7-3 split, you have to complete that split by going in the sleeper berth for 7 or 8 hours, depending on what kind of a split you're doing. What happens is people do the split. So they got the 3-hour split, extended their logs, or however long that split was, finish out their day. Now, in their mind is, okay, I'm going to go ahead and take a 10-hour break. What some people are doing is forgetting to log into the sleeper. So what happens is you don't complete that split and you get a log violation. So let me tell you how it almost got me. I was on my way home. I had a load going to Denver. I was about 60 miles out, so I was like, you know what, let me get this in to like 15 miles out. So I drove about 45 miles to the next truck stop, sat off duty for about 5 hours, whatever it was. So I needed to complete the split. So at that point, it would have been a 7-hour split once I was done unloading. Well, I was going on home time. So typically, if you're going on home time, what I would do is go into my logs and I would say off duty at home. Even if I stayed at home for 8 days straight, but I didn't complete that sleeper berth split, I'm gonna violate my logs. So what I did was got to the terminal, or not terminal, went to the drop yard, put myself in sleeper berth, and then I had to go up there the next day anyway. So that completed my split. But had I just stayed off duty for that period of time, that would have been a log violation. So keep that in mind, because I think what happens is people do a split, they forget they're going to doing a split, and this is going to happen. You're tired when you get done driving, and you go off duty, and then I fell asleep on duty before and had to or edit my logs. But you know, go off duty, go to sleep, you know, they're in the sleeper 10-11 hours, they think, you know, they fulfilled it, or maybe they wake up and then realize, oh shit, I need to go in the sleeper, but it's too late at some point. So a lot of it's just lack of attention that happens, and just keep an eye out on that. So hopefully my next load from here is going to take me to Springfield to go sign up on this new truck. I've had a few people that are interested. Some people weren't going to be ready in time. Some people were. I'm really not sure how I feel about somebody training, and that's been kind of a hiccup with one of the people that was interested. And that I'm mad that I let this truck train as much as it did, because I easily have 100 and some odd thousand extra miles on it than I would have had. So I'm not sure if I want that. But one thing I do know is I'm looking for somebody with the right, if I even do it, is I'm looking for somebody with the right mentality. You know, part of the problem with trying to put somebody in a truck that just came out of TNT or something like that isn't the fact that they're going to mess up, because everybody's going to mess up. That's just part of the game. But I'm just afraid of somebody not really realizing they can't really take this life. So I'm looking for the right person at the right time. I may end up, you know, if you're interested, you know, email, phone number, everything's in the description below. I've kind of tossed around. I know that there's some maintenance that needs to get done on a couple of my trucks. I may just sit this at the terminal if somebody needs some time, and just use this as kind of like a spare truck for the time being. I've tossed around selling it. I know this isn't the right market, but you know, there's some other things that are kind of outside the box I was thinking as far as doing with this truck. So it's not really pressing, but it's always about the right person. Anyway, that's it. Don't violate your logs because of that. Hopefully I'll be up at, well, I gotta be at the terminal on time for this, because Success Leasing gets a little sideways if you're not there within a certain period of time. So I gotta get there. But anyway, I do appreciate you guys stopping by No Hippie Trucking and Transportation. As always, comment, subscribe, and I'm out.